on. Alrighty, hello everyone. We are back again for another Monday marketing meeting. This is the Raisin marketing section team, not the full team, but just a wonderful, one of my favorite bunches of people, especially to hang out with on Mondays. If you're wondering what Raisin is, Saheen, I'd love for you to fill them in.
Yeah, hi everyone. Okay, so we are Fundraising. We empower artists, individuals, and communities to connect together to impact the world. Fundraising enables artists and sponsors to join forces, gather supporters, and transfer energy in the form of money to a beneficiary. Together, they create a campaign website, and then anyone can give their support by buying limited edition digital art. For any reason,
Fundraising.
Fundraising.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Saheen. And as usual, Kit, Saheen, Ashmita, Mari, thank you so much for joining us here on the arena. Over 2 years of posting these meetings. As today's topic, we are going to be discussing artists with a cause. And that goes all the way back to, cave paintings, if you think of it. Their cause was because they thought it was poignant enough to document, I don't know, taking down a mammoth. But in all throughout history, art has been an incredible medium and modem for communication, communication of the human condition and of historical just kind of status of where the world is at and what people are going through. I have a friend who's an art historian at a museum in Buffalo, New York, where that's her whole job is looking into like the authenticity and basically the background of everything in their collection. And you get to really, especially after like major world events like World War II, things like that, there was a lot of art taken from people. That I think that in itself is a demonstration of how poignant and how important art is to people. Is they by taking it away, that is a form of I guess punishment. So in today's day and age, what are some how are artists with causes prevalent today? What's one way you've seen when you think artists with a cause today? What do you think?
I can say something.
What's up?
Yeah. I think, I mean, in general, artists wants to be noticed. I mean, they do art. I mean, because they want to express what's in their minds or in emotionally want to connect with people. So having a purpose, I mean, creating art with a purpose makes them feel that they are not just doing art. They are just doing something that is contributing for X situation. For instance, right now, an artist with a cause would be, I don't know, a digital, 3D digital artist creating cool stuff for a website. Just in a general situation where the artist is an employee, we can say that. But in this case, that is more freedom, that they feel they want to do something for their own. Um, could be anything. Like, for instance, we have this artist that wants, and she has a story of pain because of her mom. She lost her mom, and now she sees fundraising and says, like, "Oh, this is art with purpose." I mean, I want someone looking for someone to get my art, and do something cool for people that just had the same than her mom, and in that sense, she would feel like she's helping. Um, just for instance, that example, or I don't know.
Yeah, and I think you're talking about the woman whose mom died of breast cancer. So she feels like
Mm.
she wants to be aware of that. Is that right, Marty?
Yes, yes. Like she had her she had the vision of it. She was like, I want to create art specifically for this.
Mm.
Even though in this case she didn't have a like a campaign or a cause, but she is in direction of this specific field, you know. So that's good. That's a start. Probably the artists at the beginning, they don't have a cause yet, but then they start looking for in something that they really feel inspired to support, and then they will get that cause and they will create art for that. So probably that would be one of the process of our artists. I mean, we can reach them and say, hey, you don't have a cause, okay, why don't you think about something you care about and try to look for something in your city, people you know that you'd like, you feel that they need help and you want to support them. And
Well,
then
and yeah, I see part of our role as a matchmaker too, because say we have a hospital that does a research hospital that does research on breast cancer, and they want to do some fundraising. There's some big ones in this, and if we have an artist who cares about this, who has an art pack on fundraising, I'll set up and is ready to go. Then it's just a matter of then we have a really easy in for talking to that hospital, like, and they might want to raise millions of dollars, and saying, hey, here is an artist who cares about exactly this, and here's our platform, and you can raise money using that art, and she'll like it, you'll like it, people will feel this awesome connection between these two things. And I think that's a um, just an incredible thing that we're on the cusp of exploring here with fundraising. I mean, just incredible. So
yeah,
I really like that. Our platform is meant to be a collaborative meeting space anyway, and so it's kind of where it can shift from artists with a cause to cause with an artist. Uh,
I like it. I like it.
um, yeah, and yeah, Ashmita, absolutely.
I think it also transcends beyond artists. Like even there's a huge support from non-artists as well in general in daily life, because if you go through something and you you'd actually want to make people aware that so that nobody else sort of suffers. For example, I remember I think I don't remember exactly when, but sometime back, a few years back, in Bangalore in India, um, one so one father lost his son in an accident due to a very bad pothole in the road, which was there for, I think, for a long time. So what he did is, after that, he is the one. So it's the job of the government, but he just did an initiative, like he went with all the ingredients like required to kind of like um, mend that pothole, and he did it on his own overnight, so that nobody else has to and sort of like have that kind of a loss in their family. And that's the message he spread to people by mending that pothole which took his son's life, and everybody got inspired. So many people came forward to support him, and a lot of people did. And actually, the city doesn't. So it did improve the overall in, like negligence and other things, like a lot of the places has been mended after that. And yeah, it was a huge it was a small step from his side. Initially nobody even noticed, or I think got noticed, but yeah, I mean it was just a step from his side, which was a huge step for the people in Bangalore, I would say. So that's what I want to share, because I think that's what I thought, like this cause transcends beyond just artists in general.
Right.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think it's the poignancy of it, like how art from self-expression changes to become like a social expression.
Yes, I love.
Yeah,
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
And we
I
see
like
So
that.
it's
The
about
self-expression to social expression. I love
expression.
that.
Yeah, it's about like you are no longer doing it for the sake of it. You are doing it. It carries a purpose. Every like every every brush stroke, everything of that. It's just not created for the sake of beauty or a sake of uh, probably just like a hobby or anything. It's
Yeah.
something that carries a purpose which
Mm,
can transform things.
Yes, and there are lots of platforms that are already there for artists that are just doing things of beauty, and that's great. That's fine,
Yep.
right? And
Mm,
but we can differentiate ourselves and do with this artists with a purpose. And yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So
I think
if
a lot
Oh,
of
Ashmita, your
there
hand is still up.
um, yeah,
so
the
if any artist is listening to us, we have put up a Google form on X, on our Instagram handle, on our LinkedIn handle, so you can fill up the form and you can join fundraising. We would love to
Absolutely.
collaborate.
absolutely. I think in
Yes.
you see a lot of the artwork in around Ithaca reminds me very much of that the exact feeling that you're describing here, where it is beautiful, but it isn't just for the sake of beauty. There's story behind it, and that's another key aspect of fundraising. One thing that connects us with people is that uh, like we want to hear everyone's story. Every campaign is a story. Um, and it's through that communication that allows people to have those poignant connections and those connections are what inspire things further. Um,
Also, I feel it helps to create an individual identity. Like, just for example, like the artist that Mari was talking about, like her identity, like we always click to her, we always know her because we know her side of the story. Like, why is she creating that art? Like, that story is so impactful that her whole art, the art that will create itself carries an identity of it. Like, the expression itself carries the story that she wants to portray through it.
yes, I agree. I also think I agree with Sahin, and I want to add that for I think it's a lot of times art is also about legacy. Like they pass on traditions from family legacy, which would otherwise be extinct at this point if nobody carries it forward. So I think that's a huge step and a huge way to show and carry your culture and to pass it on to the newer generations who would otherwise be unaware of what like the beautiful culture we had for a lot of centuries. A lot of civilizations are very old, like where we come from, etc. And so we wouldn't have known even maybe 10% of that if nobody would have thought in the past to actually carry their traditions and pass it on. So I think that's very important to know and be connected to your roots and actually know who you are and your identity, as Zahin just mentioned. So I think that's an integral part of somebody's life.
I love that, Ashmita, because it's just, and I think there are lots of possibilities there because you have an artist from a culture, and then you have cultural institutions that need to raise funds for promoting, doing just what you say, keeping the culture alive, promoting it. So these are great pairings, right? You can
Yeah.
and a real perfect pairing for art with fundraising. Yeah.
We have seen this at our houses, and that's what I have grown around too. So I could instantly see where I do have a deep connection to with that. So because I've seen that in my parents as well. Yeah. So
What's a store? What's an example? A little or details? Do you mean?
for example, my mom, she writes, she sings. So she did for very recently she recorded a lot of her songs. Um, and it's not a purpose of she wants it it's not a purpose of monetizing those or something like that. When people ask like, hey, you're like, that's great that you're recording the songs, but what do you want to do with that or something? She's like, I just want to keep the legacy that it was there. I just want to I just want to know that this exists and this was there, and I want people when I'm not there to listen to those and know how beautiful these songs were. And the great, I think Zahin would know all the names of the songwriters like Rabindranath and no, Kaji Nazrul Islam and other people. So those are legendary Indian songwriters and poets basically, and also a lot of them were freedom fighters. So those, she just wanted to wanted people to know that these were there. So that when she's like, when I'm not there, I want the art to be alive. So, and she also writes her own poems. She has 7 books as of now published. So 7 or maybe 8 as of now. So that's her own creation. So she keeps it there so that she know, and just to keep the art forward, that then the artist won't be around always, but the art will be. So that's the idea.
That's
I,
so cool. And
I'm just gonna share something, Benny.
Please.
And this pertains actually to Bengali culture, because this is my pinned post on X that you've probably seen, but it's from Tagore, and
More songs, yeah. Also,
the one who
okay.
plants trees, knowing that he'll never sit in their shade, has started to understand the meaning of life.
Mm.
And that is, for anyone who's watching who doesn't know, Tagore is a extremely famous Bengali multifaceted artist and visionary, and founder of a university, and quite an amazing man. And when my mom found I was going to India, she's like, "Oh, are you going to go see Tagore, Tagore's
Oh.
university?"
Mhm.
And indeed I did. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
He is one of the first people to get the Nobel Prize for
Right.
literature. Yes.
That's awesome. Oh, there we go. There we are.
Yeah, sorry, wrong button.
No
there.
worries.
Stop sharing. I really stopped sharing.
we,
No more sharing from Kit.
we're no stranger to technical difficulties. But it's art is just, it has so many facets of communication. I don't want to say timeless, but just as Ajmita said, the art will last much longer than the artist. And I think it's very interesting to, I mean, this is why I want the story of the artist. This is why I want to communicate with the artist, why I'm excited to have artists on our stream in the future is, I mean, the only reason that we know anything about like Van Gogh's personality is because people have gone in after his death and done significant research and have tried to find like people's account. They wanted to know what he was like because they're so moved by his work. And unfortunately, so many artists don't get the opportunity to uh, communicate their heart verbally, I guess, or at least giving their piece of what was the intent behind it. Some artists don't like to. Like when I was something that that I took to heart in the band is when I was in the band was, once you release music to the world, it's no longer yours. It's people can take the lyrics for whatever they want. The whole point is to allow someone to connect with your art on their own level. Like if there could be a perfect painting of a blue circle, and it could make me feel something completely different than it makes all of you feel. And then come
So did you have a song like that, or how did that connect in with, like, what from your experience in the band?
there's well, there's just like speculation on like what lyrics mean, or like we sang this one song called Eggshells that even I was like, this song's about our old bandmate. Like this song is clearly about our old band member, and the guitarist who wrote it swears to this day, no, it's not. It's not. For me, it so clearly is. It just lines up too well. But it's kind of, it's relieving to release art to the world. If that's your expression, that, I mean, that could be, it's something that weighs on you. Maybe that, like, it's a way to convert these feelings that you're having into something tangible and into the world.
Oh, I love that, Benny. It's relieving because it at its best, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I'm creative, but I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I do have a creative streak. And when the joy and relief, I think you put your finger right on it, of getting something out into the world. And if you could do that and also make an impact on something, it's even more poignant, which is a word we keep coming back to, and powerful for,
Yep.
So.
And most often than not, I think it's always about, it's mostly about self identity and other thing, like to just, you know, passing on the legacy, and we say poignant for sure. And it's less about monetizing. I don't see artists running on, like, it's not about, I know in other sectors people are more, uh, I think it's much more transactional, when it come when compared to just creating art, any kind of artist. And I think it's less transactional that way. I don't see a lot of artists just doing it for the sake of money. That I think that's secondary. And I think when you write songs, you would also know, you love it, so you do it, right? It's
Yeah.
not that the first thing which comes to your mind is not money, but something else. And that's the beauty of art. It's not transactional and it's unconditional. And I think anything which doesn't have a condition uh, is real. And when it becomes a lot of, it's filled up with conditions and a lot of expectations, I think it just becomes a lot of superficial elements come into the scene, and it just becomes anything but art. I think it becomes a piece of asset which you can just sell and make money, and it becomes what we call, I would say, I don't know, like
Commercial art. That's what it would be called.
yeah,
Yeah.
or
Like,
yeah,
you know,
commercial, yeah, something like that.
so I think, and I think that's really true, Ashmita. And I think with fundraising, so there, of course, there's a money aspect involved, like deeply ingrained in fundraising. But I think we may have found a way to sort of
Yes. Yeah.
remove some of that transactional, and replace that transaction with this poignancy, right? That you're
Right.
this, and we specifically, when Zaheen was sharing our mission statement at the beginning of the podcast, energy in the form of money, and the important part is the energy part, and that's artists are very interested in sharing energy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and then we have a way of connecting that energy to something. I mean, unfortunately, for better or for worse, the world works with money, and this is a way of making it like of maybe connecting up the two in a good way. That's our hope.
Yes. So I think, like, I would say fundraising stands out where, since I brought this thing up, like why it's not for money, but how fundraising makes a difference and how it stands out is we do have a cause for which we are acting for towards, right? We are helping people, we are raising funds for a cause. So there's a purpose which goes beyond just self um sufficiency, or like self I don't know, like it's
I
nothing like, yeah, I'm not
I
finding the
think
correct word.
we help turn
Self-serving, yes, right,
the empathy into
yes,
an action. Help to transform that empathy of people.
right. It's so, yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
right. It's not self-serving. It's just not self-serving. It is actually serving a bigger purpose. Every campaign we do, we have a bigger purpose, which is also which goes back to what I was trying to say just before this, that it's just not transactional. It's much more to that. And I think fundraising really have that flavor, that purpose and mission. So and I think that's why we um, I strongly believe myself, and I think all of you also would agree to me with me. So to such an extent that fundraising have that purpose, and that's why we are coming together and trying, trying to make that happen, that so that we can help as many people as possible through our mission
Yes.
in various fields and and times when people need the help from us through art. So yeah, so I think that's what I my purpose to bring that up was initially, like it's much more than just transactions, just like a
Yeah.
self. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So it makes me think of we can't talk about our the client or business partner that we're working with. Well, maybe we can talk about it next week. We have to be hush hush right now, but we have a meeting with them tomorrow. And one thing I just like to remember to talk about them with tomorrow, so I'll just say it here, is a lot of their emphasis has been on fundraising for the artist to make some income. And I think it's really important that we emphasize with them that one approach with the artists is to ask them, what is the, so it's not, the artists may be like, well, if they're like, oh, well, you can make money with fundraising, if that's the pitch that they give them, I really hope that I hope they give them a bigger pitch like that, and maybe ask those artists, those women, what artists, what causes matter to them, because that could be cool.
right, right. And artists need to make money too, so that they
Of
continue
course.
doing that. Otherwise, if they don't have they need to have a livelihood, and if they don't have the source, they would be forced to do something else, and the art just stays it just dies. So I think
Yes.
that's a bad thing to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
and fundraising won't let it happen. All the artists.
Not on our watch.
Yeah.
A world with all work and no art. It's not a world.
Oh my.
I think so in India, I think they're doing, a lot of people are doing great. Like I was really very, very impressed to see how wonderful work designers and artists are doing to actually provide livelihood to so many women in the villages
Yeah.
and artisans who otherwise wouldn't have not been served. Like they would have been doing something else,
Yeah.
but and keeping so many arts alive. And there's there's so much there are so many kinds of art. Even I just know maybe not even 20%. There's art everywhere and different kind of cultures. So a lot of those things are kept alive by so many initiatives, small, mid-size, I think. Even independent people are coming forward and you know um acting and taking initiatives, be it textiles, be it pottery, be it anything else, just to keep the traditions alive. And I think they're doing a fantastic job. Every day I look at those things, I really, really appreciate and feel very happy that there are still people who are very thoughtful, and um, they don't have they have a good purpose, to promote this. They could have done something else, which might be easier, but they chose this path for the sake of the culture, which is something I truly value myself.
It's
So
I think the way we just present our authentic self, because that's what fundraising is. It's a it's a project from the heart. It's a product for the people, and I think that's it could be a very interesting and beneficial turning point for artists with a cause, in terms of their recognition, in terms of their livelihood, in terms of the accomplishment of their goals, but without the sacrifice of, without losing any of the feeling. Yeah, guys, we're gonna be great. That being said, you guys,
So great, I have to wear shades. So bright. You're so bright. I've got to wear shades.
so bright. Your future's so bright. You wear shades. That being said, you guys have good luck in your meeting tomorrow. And
Thank you.
drive home poignancy, because that's what we're trying to do here. And
Yeah.
thank you also for joining us in the chat and on this live stream. We're going to be coming at you with some updates next week. If you're typically joining in with us every Monday around the same time, we might be switching it up pretty soon as we incorporate more artist guests into the stream, which I'm very excited for. Until then,
And we'll post those changes, the time change on X for sure, and on Arena.
absolutely. Maybe even like an introduction with some of the artists' work and links to their socials, what have you. In the meantime, thank you all so much again for joining us. And if you're an artist, please reach out to us, check the Google form, or hit us up on social medias or right here in the Arena, or just pop in the chat next marketing meeting that you see live streaming. For any reason, fun.
Fundraising.